Okay, it's Inox, and today I'm gonna show you a few different ways to make a few really simple ramps for your skate park. I'm using Blender 2.8, and this is just without any add-ons. This is how you would get it when you download it straight from their website. I might not dive in too deep with all the shortcuts. I'm gonna explain what I'm doing, and the rest is just up to your own experimenting. So in Blender, you select with the right mouse button, like so, and A is to select everything. So select this cube, delete it. I'm just gonna start with a pretty easy fun box right here. So I press Shift A to add a mesh. You could also press Add on top here and mesh plane. The size don't matter right now to me. You can do this in using metrics. Just type in the value on the keyboard. Okay, so you got your plane, tab to edit mode, or you can once again click on this drop down menu up here, edit mode. So okay, I'm just gonna scale this up just a bit. We want to have two hips right here. So the way I used to doing this is I select everything with the box face selection tool, or just press A in this case since there is nothing else to select, and then I press I to inset like so, and then just inset the amount you want it to be. I'll just do it to 1 since I scaled this plane by 2 earlier. So now all I do is just press G and Z to grab it on Z axis. I think I'm gonna 0.4, or actually 0.3. It don't matter, do what you want to do. So I wanted to have only these edges right here. That's very simple. We can select this edge with the edge selection tool up here, or just pressing 2 on your keyboard, and then once again G to grab, Y to Y axis. I can do this by eye, or I can select these both edges and press S to scale on Y axis, and then I type in 0. There we go. But as you saw, it moved to the center of the both edges. I don't want that. Ctrl Z. I'm gonna select this edge because I want this edge to be on top of this one. Select this one. I press Shift S and cursor to select it. So this is your 3D cursor, and if you open this drop down menu and set it to 3D cursor, now everything will happen towards that point. So I will now need to select these edges once again, scale, Y and 0. There we go. Now we got our fun box. Okay, I think I'm gonna wanna have a hover over on this side. So all I do is Ctrl R to add a edge loop like this. Then I'm aiming it on this edge, so it goes by x-axis. If I aim it on here, it goes on y-axis. Left mouse button, left click lets you move it now. But if I want to have it right where it was, I'm just gonna click right mouse button. There we go. Okay. So next I'm gonna show you, this won't work right now. I'm gonna go on face selection mode. I'm gonna select all these. Also, if you want to select all these three by one click, you will have to press Alt and click this edge, so it selects the whole poly loop there. If I want it to this way, I'm just gonna select this edge, like so. So if I was about to extrude this now, it wouldn't work the way I want to. So E to extrude, and yes, that's not the result we want it to have. I'm gonna Control Z, go to edge selection mode, or press 2 and Alt, and then I'm gonna click on this edge, so it selects the hold edge loop by pressing Alt. I could select this all by pressing Shift, but I prefer to select stuff with Alt. So now I need to scale this on y-axis to 0. But now, as you saw, it jumped to this very left edge here. It doesn't matter for now, but that is because I still had this 3D cursor pivot point on here. I'm gonna go back to median point. That's the most that's the one we usually use. Okay, so it is there, we cannot see it, so I'm just gonna press G and Y. So now I can move it on y-axis. 0.3 looks good to me. There we go. And now face selection mode, or 3 up here. Alt, select this edge, extrude, something like that. Okay, we got our fun box. So if you then was about to add a stairs here, I'm gonna show you a one way. There is multiple ways, like usual. You could do it with separate mesh, but I'm just gonna do it right here. You can always separate mesh from other mesh later. I do that pretty often. Okay, so we add another control, this loop cut with Control R, and again aim it on this edge right here. So left click, it lets you move. I'm just gonna now let it be there by right mouse button. So once again, scale Y0 to get it straight. So we need to cut a piece from this face right here. So what I'm gonna do is just bevel this edge, so it basically duplicates it. So how I bevel, I can show you here. I'm just gonna show this one. I selected this edge, and Control B is bevel, and this is what it does. Now I can move my mouse around or even scroll up to make it round. But as you see, there is the whole polyflow is pretty much messed up right here. I could fix this by selecting this face and insetting, so now we should be all good. But let's not focus on that. Let's go back to this edge, so edge selection mode, Alt selection, Control B, and now we got this sorry, now we got this effect right here. I'm just gonna do it 0.4, it doesn't matter really, and I'm gonna move it a bit into center. There we go. Okay, cool. So now we need to cut this hole here. I'm gonna go to edge selection mode and click on this edge right here, only this one. Press X, delete edges. Then I need to have a surface to build the steps from. I'm gonna do it by selecting this edge, extrude Z, and pulling mouse down. It was minus 0.3 since it's a negative number. There we go. Then I'm just gonna add, I'm gonna make it 4 step for now. So Control R on this edge right here to add a loop cut, then scroll up to add a 3 loop cuts, so it's 4 stairs. Then left click and right click. Okay, so now we need to add some more loop cuts, because I mean I could just extrude these all, but I want to make this a bit other way. Okay, so I'm gonna add a loop cut on this edge and this step, like so, and this one in the middle, just leave it there, everyone. So I could have honestly done this by just oh god, okay, I fucked it up, doesn't matter. I could have just added all these at once, but I'll just do it this way. Now I need to select every second. Actually, this we don't need. Every second, double press G to grab, so G to grab, but I want them to move straight up and down to these edges. So I press G once again, so now I can, it slides on the face like this. I pull it down, there we go. Then I go to face selection mode, or number 3 on keyboard. I select this, this, and this, and press G, X, and I think I'm gonna just at least try to match it with the slope. So for me it's 0.25, 0.25, there we go. Then just shift click and unselect this, G, X 0.25, and once again G, X 0.25, there we go. So we could do add faces here. We could do it by just adding loop cuts here, but that creates some extra geometry that we don't want to have. So what I'm gonna do is just grab this face, edge, and this edge, and extrude Z. Actually, I need to see what I'm doing. Oh my god, what has happened here? Let me just clean this up. There we go. So I'm gonna grab this edge and this edge, press E, Z to pull it down. I think it was minus 0.3 for me. Okay. So now we got this thing happening here. I'm just gonna go to vertex selection mode and grab this and Control X to dissolve it. So we get this triangle right here. There we go, we got our stairs. Okay. So I want to have a ledge here. There is multiple ways for me to do. I could once again add a loop cut here and scale it on y-axis, but that's not what I'm gonna do right now. I'm actually gonna go to face selection mode, select this face right here. I'm gonna press Shift D to duplicate it, and when I'm duplicating it, it lets you move like this. I'm just gonna press right mouse button to let it sit there. I'm gonna press P to separate it, separate selection, so now it's its own object. So if I move this, this will stay. Then I'm gonna just select this edge in edit mode, G, Y, and move it on y-axis. Then face selection mode, select the whole face and extrude 0.3 maybe. There we go. And if I want to have like slightly banked ledge here, I could just go into edge selection mode to select this edge, grab with G and move it on y-axis. Or if I want to have them both, I can scale on S, Y to get this kind of result. And I guess I'll do this. Scale X. So we got this. We got this right here. Okay, we got our fun box right here. Now I'm gonna make a quick quarter pipe. So I'm just gonna box select this with B and move them over. We don't need that. Shift S to move the cursor to world origin like so. Shift A, add mesh plane. I'm gonna go back again to edit mode, scale. Actually, I'm not gonna scale it that way. I'm gonna scale it on y-axis. There we go. Then I'm gonna use the edge selection mode, select this edge, extrude on z-axis. I'll just do it like 1.5. It really doesn't matter. So we could just bevel this edge right now, because that's what I usually do my quarter pipes. Like so, I bevel and then I scroll up to add this. Like so, we got this. But I often find fine-tuning this edge will help a lot. So I grab it, move it on x-axis. It was straight, I'm gonna move it slightly this way. I'm gonna move it like 0.2 maybe, so it's not vertical. And then Control B, and we're good to go. Okay, so now there's a step you have to remember when doing this thing. You can leave it to be like this, so you can see the old mesh right here. But what I usually do is just Control B and pull it way out, so it sticks like this. I'm gonna accept that. But now we have created an issue. If we was to select this edge right here, or this, and move, you can see it created mesh from nowhere. But that is because we have overlapping vertices right here. So we're gonna select everything on A and go to this menu, mesh menu, clean up and remove doubles. There we go. And now we want to have sides to this. We're gonna go to be on edge selection mode, Alt, select this edge, Alt Shift and select this edge. Extrude on X-axis like so, and then we want to scale it on X-axis to 0. There we go. And then we can just select this edge and face it up. And so these lines are something you would not want to see. So select go. Now you're in edit mode, press tab or just go from here to object mode. Press W on keyboard and shade smooth. Then you go to this object data tab right here and click on the auto smooth. And if it doesn't straight away give you this result you wanted, you can play around with this value right here. Just gonna leave it to 30. Okay. We don't need that to be shaded. Need that. Okay, we got the ramps. And then I'm just gonna show you a quick method of making a bank. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna Shift A, cube. I'm gonna pull it up. G, Z, and 1. It's the half of this cube. It's 2 by 2 cube. Then I'm gonna move it G, X, right here. I'm gonna actually go to edit mode with tab, or once again from here, edit mode. Face selection mode up there, or 3 on keyboard. Select this edge, press X, and delete faces. Since we're doing this right now, I forgot to delete the bottom face from this. So select this bank, or sorry, ledge, edit mode, select face, and delete faces. There we go. I'm now gonna make it a bit smaller, so select the face, G, Z, so you can move it up or down. I'm gonna just move it down like -0.5. It's good enough, yeah. So this is really easy. I'm gonna make it a little bit longer actually, something like 0.5. Again, it doesn't matter too much. Then select this edge with edge selection mode and G, X, move it backwards. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more like so it's not too steep, and maybe then maybe scale it on y-axis also. So select this in face selection mode, these two, S, why. Gonna move it back a bit. There we go. So there is 3 really simple ramps for you. Leave a comment below if there's something you couldn't follow. I will try to reply the best I can. And you can find me on Pipeworks Discord or in Skater XL modding Discord. It was Enox. Have a good one.